Good afternoon, friends. This is Marshall Brown, Grace Presbyterian Church, with Ask the Rev Wednesdays, where you ask questions about whatever it is you want to ask, and I do my best in a minute or two to answer. And this week's question is, what is the church's position on cremation? What is the church's position on cremation? And the short answer, the simple answer, is the church does not have a position on cremation. We have positions on things that we think the Bible is clear about, but the Bible is not clear about cremation. Yes, there are burials in the Scripture. There are also a couple of instances of people being burned, cremated, that is. So we do not have an official position, and families have to take a lot of things into consideration when they're making the decision to cremate or to bury. Now, I don't want to totally avoid the question. I only answer this question, by the way, when I'm asked. You wouldn't hear a sermon on this, I don't think. But the question is, what would you choose? What is your choice, Marshall? What do you believe? The church does not have a position. Marshall, of course, has to have a position because will affect me one day. And I've made the decision, for reasons that I will give, that I want to be buried and not cremated. To be buried, not cremated. And the reasons that I want to be buried are at least threefold. First, history. In the history of the church, Christians have buried their dead. Now, other faiths and other people groups have burned bodies, but Christians throughout history, by and large, have buried their dead. But second, and more to the Bible's point theologically, is the incarnation. That Jesus came and He took a flesh. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. That God took the body so seriously that He became a body. I mean, this is really the miracle of Christmas, that God became a body with flesh and blood and all the bodily things that come with having a body. Jesus had a body and actually has a body, which brings me to the third thing. It's not just history and the incarnation, but third, the resurrection, where Jesus is very clearly raised with His body. He has a body, a flesh and blood body that even does things like eat after He's resurrected. And that one day He's the first fruits, 1 Corinthians 15, but one day we too will be raised, and our souls and our bodies, which are separated at death, will be reunited, and we will have resurrected bodies like Jesus, which is to say, the body seems to really matter to God. And for those three reasons, I've made the decision and communicated to my family, my loved ones, my wife, Allison, that I want to be buried when I die. But again, it's not the church's position. There are other legitimate ways to think about this, but that's what I've chosen. And it's not a church position, it's a Marshall position, but that's Ask the Rev Wednesdays. Have a great day.